Here are 7 major proofs that God exists. The first 5 can be seen by anyone with an open mind, and even the honest atheist should admit it is at least possible for God to exist. The last 2, however, cannot be seen by those who totally reject the idea. We'll explain why when we get to them. Proof 1. Creation demands a creator. We live in an incredible universe, in an incredible galaxy, in an incredible solar system, on an incredible planet, in our incredible human bodies, with our incredible human minds. It's foolish to think all of this is by accident. In fact, the famous British mathematician Roger Penrose, a colleague of Stephen Hawking, calculated the odds of a universe like ours coming into existence by chance alone are 1 in 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 123. For clarity, that is not a 1 with 123 zeros after it. It is a 1 with a quadragentillion zeros after it. It is literally not possible to show this number of zeros with current technology. And even if it could be shown, you would not have enough time to see all the zeros even if you lived the sum total of the number of years of every human who ever lived. These odds make the idea that the universe came into existence by random chance statistically impossible many times over, which leads to one logical conclusion. There is a creator who created with intent. As the Bible states, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Plain and simple, right? If you agree, give us a thumbs up, or let us know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can watch more videos explaining different Bible topics. Now, proof number 2. Life demands a life giver. Life simply does not come from inorganic compounds. Life only comes from pre-existing life. This is known as the law of biogenesis. The reality is, life as we know it had to originate from a pre-existing source of life. One of the very names God uses for himself is the YHWH, of which the exact pronunciation has been lost. Yet some pronounce it Yahweh, or Jehovah, or Yahovah. Regardless of the exact pronunciation, what is important is what his name means. His name translates to the self-existent one, or the eternal. In other words, God alone has life inherent and has existed from eternity. It is God who has given life to mankind, the animals, and all living matter. Genesis 2 verse 7 says, "The Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being." Here are 7 major proofs that God exists.
Part 2.
Proof number 3. Laws demand a lawgiver. Science exists because scientists understand that the universe operates in an orderly manner according to laws. The laws of physics, of gravity and motion, the laws of biology, and the laws of chemistry, to name a few. These are not to mention spiritual laws that go beyond the physical. There are verifiable spiritual laws that regulate human relationships and the relationship between mankind and his creator. When followed, these laws bring joy and happiness. And when broken, they bring pain and suffering. But how did all these laws originate? Where did they come from? Who set them in motion? Isaiah 33 verse 22 states simply, "The Lord is our lawgiver." And James 4 verse 12 says, "There is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy." The fact that our world, both physically and spiritually, is ordered by certain irrefutable laws demands the existence of a supreme lawgiver. Proof 4. Design demands a designer. Evidence of design is found throughout the universe, from the quantum level to the largest scale of the entire cosmos, from the fascinating DNA molecule to the awesome human body and mind. In the same way an archaeologist finds a shard of pottery or a wall of an ancient city and recognizes these were not just random accidents caused by nature over time, but rather designed with intent by human intellect. So we can look at the universe on the grandest scale and on the smallest scale and see how it must have been designed with intent by supreme intellect. Think about it. If an archaeologist found an ancient city and concluded it came together as a result of random chances of nature over millions or billions of years, he or she would be considered inept. Proverbs 3:19 through 20 says, "The Lord by wisdom founded the earth. By understanding he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and clouds drop down the dew. Here are 7 major proofs that God exists.
Final part.
5. Fulfilled prophetic promises. No one is able to accurately predict the future, in part because there are so many variables we cannot know or control. However, one of supreme knowledge and power, who is not bound by time, and who can foresee and control world events, would be able to explain in detail future events. And that is exactly what God does through the Bible. Here are just some of the prophecies mentioned in the Bible that have either already come to pass or are in the process of coming to pass before our very eyes. Prophecies determining the outcome of the ancient cities of Tyre and Sidon. Prophecies regarding King Cyrus and his favor toward the Israelites. Prophecies describing the tribes of Israel and how they would fare in our modern age. And many prophecies detail the rise and fall of nations, including the Roman Empire and its involvement in our world today. These are just to name a few. The Creator God Himself taunts and challenges the false gods, saying, "Present your case. Show us what will happen. Declare to us things to come. Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that you are gods. Indeed, you are nothing, and your work is nothing." He says, "I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." Proof number 6, answered prayer. This is the first of 2 proofs that require a relationship with God. It is one of the most powerful personal proofs that God is real. We see incredible examples of prayer in the Bible, and Jesus taught us how to pray. You can watch our video about that here. Jesus said, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you." But asking in line with God's will is key for answered prayer. As James warns, "You ask and do not receive, because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures." If we don't pray, we won't experience this proof. But for those who do pray and have experienced God's direct hand in their life, they know that they know God exists. They know it's not coincidence or accident, because it happens too consistently and with such detail for that to be the case. The Apostle John wrote, "Now this is the confidence that we have in Him, that if we ask for anything according to His will, He hears us." Proof number 7, a way of life that works. And this is the second of 2 proofs that require a relationship with God. God, through His Word, lays out a way of life that helps us avoid unnecessary pain, suffering, and troubles. It teaches us not to sin. It also teaches us the way to love, joy, peace, happiness, good health, and long life. Even those who do not believe God exists, whether they like it or not, to the degree they happen to fall in line with His way of life, is the degree to which they will inadvertently experience the blessings of doing so in their own life. But it is by intentionally living God's way of life over the years that someone can come to see how the God who loves us gave us a way of life that leads to all good things. A good understanding have all those who do His commandments, and great peace have those who love your law, and nothing causes them to stumble. The Apostle Paul said, "For ever since the world was created, people have seen the earth and sky. Through everything God made, they can clearly see His invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature. So they have no excuse for not knowing God. The proof of God's existence is all around us if we're willing to see it." If you don't already know, see what God says in Psalm 14 verse 1 about those who say He doesn't exist.